Welcome once again to How to Relate to Anyone. Here is Dr. Orv Owens.
Well, hello again, and we have a fun little lesson today. I think it's fun. We're going to be doing weeds and seeds. Weeds and seeds, that's thinking that your subconscious mind is a garden and every thought is a seed, and every seed is planted into that subconscious mind or that garden of the brain, and it bears fruit the rest of your life. It never goes away. It's there forever. It's like a big old oak tree that just stands there. Good days and bad days, it's there. Every thought. And the interesting part about that is, we think a lot of thoughts every day. I don't know what the actual number, but hundreds of thousands of decisions, because every thought is a decision. I like it, I don't like it. It's great, it's terrible. All those things are decisions. And so we're constantly making decisions, and those decisions become a part of who we are, because everything I speak goes right into my ears and into my subconscious mind and is reinforced subconsciously in my brain, and so it's a part of me and is enhanced by the repetition of verbalizing that thought. Or even if you talk to yourself, talk in your sleep, all of those things are all recorded in your subconscious mind and have impact upon who you are as a person today. And the interesting part about that is you have semi-control. There's some things you are exposed to that you have no control of. It happens, you hear it, you see it, whatever. Some things you'd rather not even see or hear. But in all of that, the things that you say to you has more impact than anything anybody else says to you in your lifetime. And you talk to yourself all the time. Well, you probably won't admit it, but you do. You're constantly thinking. You can't pull a plug and not think. You can't say, I'm just not going to think for the next 5 minutes. And guess what you do? You think about not thinking. So you're still thinking. So it just doesn't work. You can't pull the plug. What you want to do, incidentally, while we're on that little subject, if you want to take a little 5-minute vacation, think of something that's relaxation for you. To me, it can be out on a nice yacht out in the Puget Sound, sunny skies, blue water, and we're just cruising around, looking at the different islands and watching the whales come up to the surface and dive down, and I can visualize that because I've been there. I've been on those boats, and I can see it. I don't even have to close my eyes. I can see those big old whales come right up to the surface. And one of the boats I was in, it must have been about a 14-foot, maybe 15-foot. It wasn't very big. An outboard motor, and this whale came so close, if I had stuck my hand out, I could have touched it. Came that close to the boat. Now that whale could have flipped its tail and flipped the boat, and we'd be swimming. But it was exciting to see that whale's face come right up and go right past me just like that. It was quite an experience. So I can visualize that kind of, and I get the relaxation as if I'm really on that little vacation. It's called a 5-minute vacation. You need to take one every hour and a half, just a couple minutes, go off, drift off into whatever relaxation is to you. For some people, it's in a hot bath. So visualize yourself in a hot bath. You can feel the warm water around you, and you slosh around a little bit, and then you have bubbles and whatever. Be creative. And as you're thinking about those things, you will come out of that thought process relaxed, because you're thinking relaxed thoughts. And relax, and because the brain controls your total body chemistry, your body will relax based upon the thought process. you're in a high-stress job, you just need to do that. My son works for a company, and they have game rooms and all kinds of things. You can a dog area where you can walk your dog. That's a great break. Just go take your dog for a walk. It's a big room. I mean, this is in a high-rise building downtown Seattle, and it has just little doggy trails, and you just walk your dog on the trails around that whole floor. Well, if that's relaxation to you, you go back to the office, and now you're ready to roll up your sleeves and really go to work again because the stress is off. Take the stress off, and your creativity increases, your productivity increases, your health increases. All good stuff. So we want to look at the subconscious mind, the conscious mind, the subconscious mind. We've looked at it before, but we're going to look at it from a different perspective, and that is a reprogramming of the subconscious mind. We have thoughts that we have entertained in our lifetime that are not positive thoughts. Thoughts such as, I'm not very good at that, I'm really weak in that area, ugly, boy, are you looking bad, you know, that type of thing. And you're talking to yourself, you understand, while you're looking in a mirror. I don't know why we would beat up on ourselves, but we tend to do that. We're our own greatest critics. It's amazing how much a person will stand in front of a mirror and change outfits and all that kind of stuff, change hairstyles, fool around trying to look a little bit better. When in fact, probably first go around, they look pretty good. I don't know. At my age, you don't have much to work with, so you just kind of smile and grin and bear it, so to speak. Don't comb my hair. There's not much hair there to comb. I don't, I brush my teeth. That's an important thing. I just found at my age, there's not that much more to get ready. And so I tried dressing for success, wear clothes that are fitting whatever the situation is. I'm old school. I wear a lot of suits with ties and so on, where people today don't do that much, but that's fine. But I do because I'm comfortable with a shirt and tie on. So why not dress the way I feel most comfortable when I go out in public or when I'm doing business? If I were to meet the President of the United States, I would want to have on a suit and tie because I know he's going to have on a suit and tie. I shouldn't dress down to the President. That would not be cool. So anyway, opinions. That's just my opinions and how I think. So we are basically a constant thought process, a constant brain activity that, and we create all kinds of scenarios in our mind all throughout our day and throughout the night in dreams and nightmares. And so if we can control that a bit so that the thoughts are edifying and creative and move us towards a higher level of productivity and a higher level of self-esteem and self-acceptance and so on. Greater creativity, greater productivity, all those things by choosing to think the right thoughts. Too many of us spend too much time thinking bad thoughts. We call them weeds. Think of your subconscious mind as a garden, and you either plant weeds or seeds. Hate to tell you this, but you already got a lot of weeds. Well, I like to tell you that because you need to do something about it. The weeds are already there, the negative thoughts that, and I'm talking about thoughts about yourself. Thoughts about your productivity and your energy supply and your health and your creativity and your productivity and your accuracy and your abilities in the job situation. All those things are part of your mindset of who you are as a person in your mind. And most people will tell you they don't want you to think about them what they think about themselves. I want you to think better of me than I think of me. Probably not going to happen, because I think every relationship starts with who you think you are. Who do you think you are anyway is an old question. And the answer to that is you're right. Whoever you think you are, that's pretty much who you are. When I meet you, all I see is what you project of what you believe about yourself. What you like and don't like, how open you are and how closed you are, how confident you are and how much you lack self-confidence. All that is being projected. And we call it weeds because it's negative thoughts that have held you back in many areas of your life. People have passed up opportunities because they couldn't believe they could achieve in that area of their life. When the fact is, anything you could be exposed to, you can learn and achieve. How fast? I don't know. But I do know if you stay with it long enough, you'll get it. Because that's the way the mind works. So we have a conscious mind, and its function is to accept through the five senses information and pass judgment on that information. The conscious brain's function is that of judgment, placing value on everything that comes through the five senses. That smells good, that tastes really great. Those are decisions we make consciously. The conscious mind does not have any memory. All it has is a judgment factor where we can make decisions about value of that which we're exposed to through the five senses. That information, once we pass judgment on that information as it comes in, is programmed into the subconscious mind and becomes a permanent part of who we think we are or what we think about that particular subject. If we like it, we'll like it. If we don't like it, we will not like it, and it'll be programmed in. And the subconscious mind's function is that of memory and of controlling habitual behavior. So your subconscious mind really runs you. It's kind of the hard drive of the brain. And we've talked about that a little bit in earlier lessons, but I want you to know how much impact it has. It totally allows you to achieve, to be creative, to be productive, to learn new things, to become more proficient in your life in certain areas of your life. All of that is based upon what the subconscious mind believes is true, because it motivates you, gives you the creativity and the insights and the knowledge and the recall of information to make wise decisions, whether it's buying and selling or building something. All creativity comes from the subconscious mind, and it's based upon what has been programmed in through the conscious mind. And so we have total control of what we choose to believe. So I choose to believe I can do this. Now all I have to do is develop the skill level to do this, whatever it is I want to do. And you have that same ability. And we talked earlier about a weed list and a seed list. We want to get a little more detail. Here's the idea. Take a piece of paper and write down all the things you know about you that are negative. I'm not very aggressive. I'm not very consistent. I'm a lousy speller. I don't meet people well. I don't communicate, whatever. All the negatives in the world that you can possibly write down about yourself, put down in what we call a weed list. It's a list of negatives that hold you back from achieving your own personal goals, whatever those goals might be. to be able to achieve something new, to be able to conquer something that you've never conquered before, takes reprogramming of the subconscious mind. And that's what we're going to work on. And we do it by, first of all, nailing down those things that hold you back. What is it that are fear motivations that are holding you back from achieving what you should be achieving on a day-to-day basis, or you want to achieve on a day-to-day basis? When you get that list as complete as you can make it, and I've had some people bring their lists into my seminars, and boy, they were really honest. But that's what you have to do. Be as honest as you can. What are your fears? What is it that holds you back? What is it you can't do that you would like to do? All of that's on a weed list. Then you write a seed list, and the seeds are the things you're going to plant in the ground, the fertile ground of the subconscious mind, so it grows into turning natural abilities into capabilities. That's all we're working on here. We're not talking about doing a major miracle thing. We're talking about taking natural abilities you already have, you just have not developed them into capabilities. Couldn't ride a bike until you rode a bike. Couldn't drive a car until you could drive a car. Couldn't sing a song until you worked on singing a song. And it's true with everything you've ever achieved in your life, and it's true with everything you wish you could achieve, but you never launched out. You never took the risk. You never said, I'm going to try. I'm going to give it my best shot. And then I'll do it again, and I'll keep doing it until I get it right. That's vitally important, because if you don't do that, you'll never learn, you'll never grow, you'll never develop those skill levels. Well, the seed list then is a opposite of the weed list. If I say I'm not very good at art, I'm not very good at art, I'm not an artist, I'm going to put on my seed list, I am creative and I can create pictures and develop my natural abilities into capabilities in the art world. That's an easy little thing to say. It's not causing the world to turn over or drastic things to change, but I'll tell you what, if you say it often enough to yourself, you'll start becoming highly creative as an artist. That's what I did. I mean, you should have seen my first painting on that cardboard box. Nobody'd pay me for that one. But persistence pays off, especially when you are constantly elevating your skill level. So through positive repetition now, we turn all the negatives into positive words and read that list out loud to ourselves. Out loud's important because we see it and we hear it. If we can taste it and smell it and everything else, the more of the five senses we can expose, the faster it's going to have impact upon our subconscious mind, faster it's going to turn natural abilities into capabilities. That's what we're going for. So it's vital to your personal growth that you guard your subconscious mind away from things that are going to tear you down, and work at feeding your subconscious mind those things that build you up. Very important. And we don't do enough of that. We tend to be highly critical of ourselves when in fact we need to, talking to ourselves, say, I can do this, I can achieve this, I can develop this skill. It's not bragging because you're talking to yourself. People say, I don't want to brag. Well, don't tell me what you're going to do, but tell yourself, because you're the one that's most important, because you're the one that's going to have to do it. You're the one that's going to have to develop the skills. You're the one that's going to have to develop pay the price, whatever that price is. Normally it's consistency and some hard work to achieve those goals. Subconscious mind controls most of your behaviors, so what you're feeding in is going to come back out and show up in your behavioral patterns, and all of a sudden you're going to start achieving higher levels of success in every area of your life where you apply this principle of programming into your subconscious mind. I can do this. I can achieve this. I am good at this. I have natural ability. I have skills beyond what I've developed, and I'm working on those every day. Confidence, learning ability, positive habits, habitual thinking, all those things you control, and they in turn control what you achieve. You are a sum total. The outward expression of who you are as a person is a sum total of all the stuff you've been thinking about all these years. Has it been good stuff? Or have you thought some thoughts that are pretty negative? Every thought is programmed into the subconscious mind, hundreds of thousands of thoughts every day. Every day. Negative thoughts will become part of your permanent memory. So when we control our thinking, we cannot allow ourselves to think on the negatives, what might not happen, but what can happen. And the seed list that we create by doing the weed list first and then doing the seed list is something we use for repetition. And you put on there that list. On that list you put everything that you're conquering. All the negatives you're turning into positives. I'm never on time. I'm on time constantly. I'm very consistent. You say, well, that's lying to yourself. Well, actually, you're telling yourself the truth. You just haven't met up with behavior up with what you're saying. But it'll come because you become what you choose to believe you will become. The weed and seed list little exercise. And incidentally, don't show anybody your weed list because they'll never forget what you have put on that list. That is not good. But the weed and seed list has been an effective tool for hundreds of thousands of people over the last 55 years that I've been teaching this material to conquer fears and turn natural abilities into capabilities. And you can do it. So destroy the weed list and let all those negatives go away and focus on the positive seed list. Read it out loud to yourself 10 times a day when no one's around. And if you'll continue to do this, it'll become habitual. And when it becomes habitual, you start doing those things without even thinking about it. It's just a part of who you are. So what are you saying to yourself all day? Is it what you want to believe about yourself? Is that what you want other people to believe about you? If you don't want the things you're saying to yourself to be things people believe about you, stop saying them to yourself, because when you say them to yourself, you are reinforcing the negatives, and the negatives will wipe you out of a lot of good opportunities because you're talking yourself out of possibilities that you have in the way of natural abilities. So, if you want people to think positive things about you, and you've been saying negative things, here's my professional advice. As a psychologist, I want to give you professional advice. Stop it. That's it.